Hey guys, Wagwan, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, I am Sakina, and this is the story of my journey. So the journey, like, it's underway, right? And of course this whole festival song thing is going on, but a lot of people don't really know much about, like, back in the day. So this is a little story about I feel like Will Smith. I was just about to break out like that.
Now this is a story, y'all.
But no, I won't do that. This is really the story of how I got into my career. No, my career as a singer might be what's out there, but what's actually my career, like what makes the money to pay the bills, is actually theater and acting. So I am an actress by trade, and this is pretty much the story of how I got into that with a little bit of extra background and all of them good stuffs. Right? Alright, here we go. So, my story begins on the 27th of October, 19... My mommy's name is Vilma Marie, and I was born right down at Victoria Jubilee Hospital on a Saturday morning, I think. And my grandmother, before she passed away, used to tell me the story of how my mother used to behave when she was in labor. She said, "Mommy Barlow, never again, never again, never again. Oh God, never again, never again, never again." And true to her word, my mother has never had another child. I am the only child from my mom. Can't say the same thing from my father. Let's just say him past the dozen. What if I can probably pass the 2 dozen? But that's none of my business. Yeah, I'll just drinking my tea. Well, juice, but okay. Yeah. So, all of that ensued. My childhood was spent pretty much growing up with my grandparents and my mom and my cousin Princess. We grew up in this big family house where people would call the ghetto. I grew up on Duncan Avenue, which is actually past RJR, down the side there, close to like Black Roses Corner and Maxfield and that kind of stuff. That's where I grew up. And it was so funny because in the midst of where we were, my house was like this proper house where my grandfather insisted that we all speak standard English in the house, which has helped me quite a bit in my life because, you know, we can juggle and jump up and down and go one side with the English vernacular. But yeah, I grew up in the ghetto. I grew up being poor, or what most people would call poor, and it is so funny because I never knew that I was poor. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. You never think that you wouldn't know, but I didn't know, you know. There was a gully beside my house that I went down into and got myself into trouble, but that's for story time. And I remember us living such a funny life. Like, one thing specifically, my grandfather had a car. I remember that. We had a green Escort. My grandfather had that. But the car uncle get to drive on Sunday, one day a week. I air on the car drive, right? My grandfather would drive the car, would get to like the top of any hill or incline, and then he would have turn off the ignition and put the car in a neutral. And then we would have just coast down the road, you know, until it wear out, and then we start up again. Oh, sorry. We start up again and then we'd keep going. So, you know, that's the kind of straddling the okay poor line that we did. I went to RJR Basic School. I was supposed to go to John Mills All-Age School, and then it turns out that I got a scholarship to go to St. Peter and Paul Prep. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where I found out that we into my family never have no money. So I took the bus to school every day with my grandpa. After a while, he, you know, put me on the bus and I went by myself. But I did take the bus every day to school and nobody else did. And so that was the first clue. Next clue, people used to get enough lunch money if you go to school. Me used to get significantly less. Them used to carry Jansport. A tailor make my school bag. I never forget it. A blue school bag and the tailor stitched that up. Them used to get shoes from store. My shoes come from shoemaker.
Custom.
And that was the life that I lived, and I didn't feel like there was anything wrong with it until I was exposed to something different. And that's okay, you know, because all of that is what helped make me Sakina. And moving on from Peter and Paul Prep, I ended up going to Immaculate Conception High. Yes, and Astra. And look here, if I go to another school, don't jump on here, come tell me nothing about your other school. I respect all of you and all in the other school, but I still have to love up my alma mater. Yes, I do love my alma mater. So I went to Immaculate Conception and I met some fantastic people who allowed me to start discovering myself, and that is where my acting journey truly began. So I used to sing at mass. Yes, me, mass, Roman Catholic, sing. Yes, nobody make it surprising. They're like, what? Oh my God. Oh no, I was a devout Catholic young lady. And on Wednesdays we used to have Catholic mass in the chapel at school, and I used to sing. And Mrs. Robinson, who was the head of the Catholic group at the time, also the mother of the head girl Maria at the time, she suggested, you know, you should audition for Father Holang and Friends. And I was like, oh, okay. And you know, I was so excited. I did the audition. I never heard from them. Me shame. I'm so ashamed. I didn't hear from them for about 6 months. It turns out that they had lost whatever contact information, and I ended up going back and doing another audition, and I made it in. And them time they them give me cassette. Them give me like 6 cassettes worth of music to just learn the songs, learn the parts. I'll never forget it. Me and my Walkman, every day we listen up the ears, I try to learn it. And so it was our responsibility to learn all of those songs. And that was my introduction to theatre. So my introduction came through musical theatre. I remember my mommy coming with me to those rehearsals that would go on deep into the night. Poor thing used to drop asleep like in the wings. But she was so supportive, you know. She'd take me there every day and she'd sit down and she'd wait on me, whether it be Monday to Sunday. You know, she would just do it. Thank you, mommy. Thank you. I don't know if I've said thank you, but thank you. And she's actually been so supportive, like behind me the whole way, this whole journey. Not to mention when me tell her, I said, we're going to take a year off of school to go run up and down with a performing group. She never, you know, she never even batted an eye. Oh yeah, so back to the story. I started singing with Father Holang and Friends, and my first show that I ever did on stage like that was Jesus 2000. And I remember being on stage one night at the end of the show when Jesus was being crucified, and I was sitting underneath the cross, and they were, you know, fake hammering in the nails into his hands. And I remember looking up at the cross and having like some fake blood drop off and just drop onto my face and drop right down. I miss say, Lord of his tender mercy is like, I don't know, the ball, like that was like a moment for me, and I was like, oh. But it was amazing. It was amazing, and that feeling was just something that I could not replicate anywhere else, you know. And I was like, yeah, this is nice. And so that's how theatre began for me. I ended up traveling as a part of the core group with Father Holang and Friends. I went to the first time I remember going to the embassy, guys. I remember going to the embassy when the embassy was on Oxford Road. Yeah, who can tell me that? Who remember that? When the embassy was on Oxford Road. And I got my visa, and the first time I went to America was with Father Holang and Friends. And I think it was New Jersey that we went. Yeah, I think it was either New Jersey or Atlanta. It's been so many places since then that I can barely remember. And then my life turned into this series of just traveling and school, traveling and school, traveling and school. It got to the point where I would be in Jamaica Monday to Thursday, leave Jamaica on Friday, go with how long on the weekend, come back either on the last flight on Sunday night or the first flight on Monday morning, come back to school and do it over again. And I did that like just continuously. CXCs came, did those, passed them all, yay! Did CXCs, continued working with Father Holang and friends, and then came A-levels. Yep, A-levels. Look here when I tell you. I missed one of my A-level examinations because I was stuck on a tarmac. Into foreign. Yeah, plane did I take off and everything, and all of a sudden somebody looked through the window and said, "Oh my God, what's that? Oh my goodness, there's gas coming from the plane. There's gas coming from the plane." When we looked through the window, no the fuel, just to drain away out of the plane side. Yes, my darling. So the plane was stuck on the tarmac for hours, and we had to deplane, and then replane, and then deplane, and then replane, and it just turned out so we never end up come back for the exam. I do think that was my math exam that I missed. But you know, at the end of the day, I still managed to make it into UE with the grades that were left, and that is the first part of the story. Hey guys, so if you like what you saw on the video today, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe button somewhere down there. So I'm not sure if it's left. Alright, put it red so you can't miss it. Thank you. Mwah.